I'm an economist, and not a whole lot of economists in the United States are socialists or knowledgeable about socialism.
It has been brought about historically is by the working class uniting in a disciplined organization under a proletarian party or a vanguard party, and working to replace bourgeois society with a working class society. And so socialism can only come from the masses again.
But saying I'm a socialist doesn't mean that I'm always understanding exactly what I want socialism to mean, as opposed to what it means. I don't think there is a meaning of socialism. I'll talk a little bit about some of the kinds of socialism that have existed. I'll focus more on the political than the economic side of it. But I don't know how many of you have ever been to a place called New Harmony, Indiana. It's southern Indiana. It's a couple hours from here. It's an interesting drive. It was founded as a utopian socialist community, which were communities that began to call themselves socialists. Sometimes they were founded by churches. Sometimes they were founded by owners of the means of production, factory owners who had some conscience about the exploitation of workers. And so they began to experiment with other forms of payment of relationship. And if you go to New Harmony, they have nice museums there, and you get a sort of a sense of how it worked, or didn't work. And there's some other examples of that. Bethel, Missouri is another place where there was an experiment in socialism. Marx felt that that kind of utopian socialism wouldn't get very far. And he did believe some of the things that Jesse talked about. He believed in that there was systematic exploitation of workers, meaning that they created economic value, but that the owners of the tools, the land, the means of production, took more of took some of that value away from them.
About some things, mostly from a historical perspective, a little economic history to provide some context. It's the kind of way I see it and understand it. And so first kind of understand where socialism comes from. Where does it exist? And we have to understand that it was born and raised in Western capitalist societies. It emerged from capitalism. It's a product of capitalism. It's a reaction to the problems and contradictions of capitalism. Right? It's a critique. It's an internal critique of capitalism. So one part of it is very critical of the economic system in which we're a part of. And I'd say another part of it is what we might call romantic or utopian, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad word. It can be, but a vision of a better world.